Not wait to do this episode, so much so that Liz and Gina from Remax Diamond Realty and myself were wearing the exact same thing we wore last week. So ladies, thank you for being here. Thank you for the consistency in fashion, and thank you for the information on real estate taxes, because as we discussed last week, real estate taxes, personal taxes, not the same thing. It's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
However, I am now curious, and everybody can go back on YouTube and watch, to contextualize exactly what we were talking about. But Gina, I'm curious exactly how are the real estate taxes here determined, and how do you determine like how much I'm set to pay? Is there a schedule? Is it like a
so the government has a process.
Guam or Uncle Sam?
Revenue and tax.
Okay, this is
Our
local
government
Okay.
of Guam. They have a tri-annual tax assessment. They typically hire an appraiser that goes out and assesses the value of the real estate properties. I don't know that they've been consistent in doing it triannually.
The last one was 2015.
Yeah, it was in 2015
Okay,
when
so-
when it was
Apparently
updated.
not,
yeah.
When it was updated. That was the last one that we're aware of.
Okay, wait, is triennial maybe 3 times a year or every third year?
Every third year.
Okay, that always confuses me because I went to public school. So.
Me too. So.
Okay.
But the interesting part is prior to 2015, it was 20 years ago that they did it.
Yeah, it
Okay.
has been a while.
Yes.
But
Anyway, the government's trying to clean that part up, but that's how they determine the value. They have it assessed, and then so in between, what happens in between those assessment periods where, well, they do have people at Revenue and Tax that go out there. So for instance, if I built a home last year and I need, of course, I don't need a tax bill, but I know I have to have a tax bill. That's just part of the, the process. So they do have people at Revenue and Tax will come out and take a look at the property and assess or determine its value. So there is a process for it, whether it was done during the triennial assessment or they have somebody that'll go out and value the property. So that's a responsibility of the homeowner. You can't take it for granted that once you have your occupancy permit, that the government will come out and assess your property. And I just don't like my bills piling up, because then it's harder to keep, pay. So once the property you have your occupancy permit, so you're living there or you rented it out or whatever, go down to Revenue and Tax and say, hey, here's my occupancy permit, and I'd like to have you guys come and take a look at the property so I can get my tax assessment. And they'll do that. There is a process where the occupancy permit is sent down to Revenue and Tax, so they know they're flagged that they should do the assessment. But don't take that for granted that process will happen. Go in and let them know.
So Liz, this is quite literally not all tax values are the same. So like if my coworker and I both own 4 acres in 2 different villages, it's not like we both have a $3,000 bill at the end of the year. It's all case dependent. Right?
We ask each property owner, look at your property tax bill and see what value they've assigned to it, because there's the government assesses the value. So there's usually a tax amount. Now, I think in one of our clients' cases, the tax bill was really, really high, and the value of the property wasn't at that amount. So you could, there's a form that you'd have to fill out and take it to the Rev and Tax, and then to dispute the current tax bill.
Really? That is possible?
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
and there's a form, you can go up there and get that, because not all properties are equal, and depending on the location and everything. But just remember, assessed value would be value as of 2015. And sometimes values change based on the market. However, if your value is not what they're saying, you could dispute it and reduce at least your payment.
Okay, now as we learned last week, if I do file a discrepancy like you just said, and I do want to claim a dispute, does that give me some time until I can actually remit payment? And will I assess the penalties? That's my bigger concern.
So the problem is, let's say
Or do I pay and then I'll get reimbursed by the government?
Reimbursement
That's
is a difficult
difficult.
process. But anyway,
But not impossible.
It's not impossible.
They could credit it towards future taxes, but for someone to try to, I haven't seen that be a common practice.
Well, I guess
to
what
get
I'm
it
getting
right
at
away.
is, if I'm doing this as a business person, as an investor, I just want to make sure that my good name is not sullied, and I am not, my credit is pristine. So like in any way, like I want to avoid any kind of penalties because, you know, that's my name on the line right there. That may hurt me down the road.
Well, yeah, because whether or not, here's the problem with the process. The process is open in September, from September to October, September 15th to October 15th, and the part of the government that handles this is called the Board of Equalization. But your tax
It's a great
bill,
name.
yeah, equalize. But your tax bills due February 20 and April 20. So the issue is you cannot take it for granted that they're going to agree that there is a discrepancy in their billing. So you have to pay it now to avoid the penalty. Because what if you file with the Board of Equalization and they don't agree with you? Then you still have you still owe the money.
Okay, that's
so
fair.
you pay
Penalties.
first.
That's fair.
And
then dispute it.
Yeah, and because you can't dispute it now. They only take disputes September, and they change the form. So even if you go now to pick up the form they have will not be applicable. So you got to wait. They're coming up with new forms, but you get the form, and then in September, when the Board of Equalization is available to take in these requests, then you go in and you dispute your tax bill. And keep in mind, you can't just go in and say, hey, this tax bill's too high. There has to be some kind of proof, because after all, there's a process.
Yeah.
They went out to do the valuation, so you need to show them why you believe the valuation is too high, because left to us, we're all going to say our bills are too high, but you got to have proof. Well, why do you say that? Why do you feel this way?
See, if you got an appraisal, that could be some form of a proof. If you got a recent appraisal and went out there and showed them, hey, this is a recent appraisal, this is the current value, what you're charging me is much higher than the current market value. So that's the proof that, you know, you could use.
Well, there is proof that both of you really, really know your stuff about real estate. And, you know, I got the best job in the world because I just get to sit here every week and just geek out about real estate. It sounds like it's really, really hardcore, and it is, but you have helped me and hopefully our audience understand so much about real estate on Guam. So
How to save money.
Exactly, and how to make money. So where can people reach you once again, by phone or by website if they want to find more information?
Our website is remaxdiamondrealty.com, or you can reach Gina 687-8885 and me at 687-0911.
And you can also scan those really super QR codes that we put on these segments,
Yeah,
and you can
that's
find
right.
more information. So thank you, ladies. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time as well.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Visit GESIGuam.com.